At a glance, you might consider Uber a disruptive innovation, but it's actually not. Hi, my name is Belina, and I just finished up my internship, and I spent a lot of time learning about disruptive innovation, so I just wanted to share because I thought it was kind of interesting. So what really caught my eye on this topic was the fact that Uber, a company that changed the whole taxi game, is not considered a disruptive innovation. That really left me thinking, like, if Uber is not disruptive, then what is? But disruptive innovation is about more than just changing the game. While Uber has completely revolutionized the taxi service industry, the service that it's meeting is still the same service that the taxi industry was meeting. In order for something to be considered a disruptive innovation, it has to create a completely new market. So just to explain the most basic economic principle there is, in a market there are suppliers, which are the companies that are making a product, and the demand, which are the customers who are buying that product. The suppliers will meet the demand of the customers, and that's what creates a market. So for the Uber situation, the demand for Ubers is the same thing as the demand for taxis. Customers want a one-time commitment to get from one place to another by paying a single fee. The same customers that request a taxi for their service would also likely request an Uber. All Uber has done for this industry is make it a little bit easier by putting the requests function into an app rather than having to wave someone down in the middle of the street. You're also provided with more statistics about when your Uber will arrive and more details about the exact fare that you're going to have to pay. But overall, Uber is still servicing the same market base that taxi service. Now that we know why Uber is not a disruptive technology, here's an example of one. One really popular one that I'm sure most people know is Netflix. And if you're probably around my age or older, you probably also know about Blockbuster. Well, in this case, Netflix was actually the disruptive innovation that took down Blockbuster, unfortunately. Or fortunately, I don't know. If you didn't know, when Netflix first started, it started as a mailing service. Households could request the movie that they wanted to see and have it mailed to them, and after they finished watching, they would just mail the movie back and get their next movie in the mail. Blockbuster, on the other hand, was a physical store that you had to walk into. Netflix did not originally cater to the same market that Blockbuster did. Blockbuster customers wanted to walk in the store, pick out a movie, and watch it that very same night. Netflix customers had to wait a couple days in order to get their movie in the mail. The movie fanatics who wanted to see the movies right away were not going to sign up for Netflix. Netflix was originally catered towards more of a chill movie watching experience who weren't trying to watch the latest releases immediately. That's why Netflix and Blockbuster both had different audiences that they catered toward. And originally, Blockbuster did not see Netflix as a competitor. But obviously, in retrospect, we have seen what big changes that Netflix has made to the movie industry. Over time, Netflix was able to turn their mailing service into an online streaming service, which was a completely new platform. Not only did Netflix appeal to the customers who requested their mailing service, but Netflix slowly started to appeal to more customers who were shopping at Blockbuster. And over time, Netflix started to provide the same service that Blockbuster could provide, but even better. But the important part of this whole scenario is that Netflix did not start out as a Blockbuster competitor. They started out as their own service with their own market, and they were able to grow and expand to slowly take over other markets and do it better. I thought this whole idea was so intriguing, and I read this book called The Innovator's Dilemma, which talked about disruptive innovation and why it's so hard for large companies to deal with these issues. From the perspective of a large company, their best option is to honestly keep producing the product that they've already found success in and find ways to improve it to attract more customers or get their customers to keep returning back to their same product. There is no reason for them to find a completely new market when they already have success. That's why disruptive technology is usually built by small companies like startups. Startups usually don't have anything to lose. Startups also don't have a reason to compete in the same market that large companies are already competing in. Anything that a small company can do, the large company can do that but better, simply just because they have all the money and the resources to do so. So in order for a startup or a small business to succeed, they have to be able to create something completely new that will catch the large companies off guard. And in that sense, they are creating their own new market and that disruptive technology that the large company isn't really expecting. The fact is, the managers of the large company could make all the right decisions and still get destroyed by disruptive innovation. And it's this idea that you could somehow do all the right things but still somehow do the wrong thing is what's called the innovator's dilemma. A way that large companies can sort of counteract this innovator's dilemma is to actually start a new branch of their company that they allow to work on their own and innovate on their their own. That branch should not be involved in any of the things that the large company does. They shouldn't even be using the same resources as the large company. Essentially, the small branch of this larger company is going to be competing against itself to create a new product that can outperform anything that the larger company is already doing. Essentially, they're trying to destroy their own product by innovating a completely new product. The more that a company knows about this whole innovator's dilemma, the more that they can try to prevent this from happening. Although disruptive markets are never predictable, keeping an eye out and actively trying to innovate within your own company is one of the best and only things that you can do to sort of prevent against a smaller company from overtaking your current success. I don't know, I just found this all super intriguing and it was definitely not something that I thought about before, so I just wanted to share. I don't know when this will ever come into use in my lifetime, but the more you know, am I right?